The JSE is sluggish, but in the green so far today, with the rand slightly firmer ahead of an interest rate announcement by the SA Reserve Bank tomorrow. Governor Lesetja Kganyago is due to announce the latest interest rates in the afternoon after the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. Economists widely expect interest rates to remain unchanged. Zwelakhe Mnguni, Chief Investment Officer at Benguela Global Fund, joins us now. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks very much for your time. The rand trading slightly firmer against, ahead of the first interest rate decision.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mpogo. The rand is probably anticipating that will remain at the same level of interest rates, which is relatively attractive. We did see our bonds weakening yesterday, but I do think that we are at a point where we are relatively attractive to many other markets. So the rand is relatively strong at this moment.
All eyes, of course, on the Reserve Bank Governor, Lesetja Kganyago, who is due to announce the latest interest rate decision today. I said tomorrow because it's usually done on Thursdays. But your expectation?
Yeah, I think he would have no basis to raise rates or cut at this stage. I think the inflation is close to his 6% limit. I think we did 5.6% in February. So on that score alone, that should be a basis for him to hold rates steady. But I think you are also seeing that the environment is not yet safe from an economic point of view, that he could basically start cutting rates. The inflation remains elevated, and as we see, the oil price has held up relatively well for the last 2-3 months, and that is a major input cost into our inflation.
Well, we'll see what happens there. But Met Air returns to the black, reporting headline earnings per share of 135 cents. Talk us through this performance.
Yeah, I think they had quite a good performance in terms of the top line and operating profit. But I think the interest expense and their operation in Turkey did take the shine out of the numbers. Broadly speaking, the OEM business, which is where they manufacture harnesses and batteries for the original vehicle manufacturers, it does look like that business has done well. But the rest of the business, the aftermarket, those businesses seem to be struggling. I think they seem to have had also challenges around their production in the Ford Ranger product on the harnesses. But the number came through, it was positive. It was quite meaningfully positive.
International ICT company DataTech expects to report a 5.8% rise in full-year revenue for the first half of the 2024 financial year to grow revenue and improve the quality of earnings. Yeah,
I think the numbers were decent. Given the environment, I think their distribution business was actually quite strong. I think the revenue was close to 8% higher. But they are digital services businesses, Logicalis, actually was under a lot of pressure in international markets and in Brazil. So there was quite a weakness in that area. Broadly speaking, it is a business that is still in transition. It's looking to unlock value. So they've just acquired a cloud business that they want to integrate into the digital business. But then there could be a separate listing of the distribution business, Westcon, and then the IT services business, Logicalis.
PPC's group revenue increased 27.6% for the 10 months ending January, mainly due to continued strong growth in the cement producer Zimbabwe operations relative to the low base in the comparable period.
Yeah, I think that turnaround, is broadly attributable to Zimbabwe. I think, as we know, that they sold their business in Rwanda and they left with Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Botswana. And the two big areas there, South Africa and Botswana, those businesses are actually quite pedestrian in terms of the demand for cement. I guess the economic environment is not supportive of that with high interest rates. But I think the cement volumes are under pressure in South Africa and Botswana. Zimbabwe did have a massive turnaround, and that has been a major driver of that turnaround performance. So certainly an improvement, but I think it is not yet a great quality improvement. I think the volumes, there's still quite a lot of competition on the pricing side on the cement market.
Mr. Zwelakhe Mnguni, thanks very much for your time. He's the Chief Investment Officer at Benguela Global Fund.